So why are we going all this way just to look at a 37 Packard?
I like the car, and I'd want to pay $100,000 for it.
You're offering me $100,000 for that car.
You know, this thing's basically worth about $80,000.
You know, $1.25, trying to be reasonable.
Legendary Motorcar started out of a small single-car garage in 1985. I've been through the ups and downs of the collector car market. I've been lucky enough to turn my passion into my business. My team shares that same passion, and together we buy, sell, restore, and race some of the greatest cars on the planet. I'm Peter Klutt, and this is Legendary Motorcar.
Real barn finds aren't found in the newspaper. It takes somebody who knows somebody that sees it in the garage or sees it in the guy's barn. And that's when my spotters come in. I've got guys all over North America that know I'm a buyer for cars. So this guy phones me up this morning and says there's a 37 Packard 2 hours from my shop. What am I going to do? Jump in the car and go.
There must be an opportunity to make some money because PK's got me up at 7 a.m. hooking up the dually to the trailer, and he says we're going on a road trip today. So why are we going all this way just to look at a 37 Packard?
It's kind of special. A 37 Victoria was one of the most expensive Packards they built back then. It's supposed to be a 3-owner, low-mileage car, but it needs doing. It's just been sitting in like a barn or something.
So it's a big, old, expensive, dusty boat we're going to see then, isn't it?
Yep, but if we can make a buck, it's worth going. Look at nice old house, huh? I don't think this is the type of farmer that doesn't have any money.
Maybe he needs the space for his firewood.
There's a real adrenaline rush anytime you're going to do a deal. I'm pulling up to a stranger's place. I'm going to try and buy his car. He knows I'm serious. I've got the trailer out back, and I'm ready to do business. Part of bringing Gary along on this trip is getting him to really start looking at cars.
Hello.
Tom,
Yes.
Peter, this is my son Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you guys.
We have a look at the Packard?
Yeah, we sure can.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's right out here.
So what's the history on the car?
Well, it came out of California about 1966 and bought by a doctor. And he passed away, and I bought it from him then. That's been sitting here for 8 or 9 years now. I haven't run it for that number of years, no.
Oh, she's been sitting a while.
You know, Gary, the biggest thing I'm worried about,
And sitting out here, it gets cold. There's no water. Tom, do you remember if you parked it, did it have antifreeze or water in it, or?
Gee, no, we just parked it there and walked away. It's just been sitting there.
Okay. It won't turn over. There's no battery or anything.
No, that's right. No, bad, won't turn over.
If it lost its radiator fluid because it froze, the engine could be junk.
Gary, you just help open the luggage rack up there. Just pull it. Have a look underneath that side.
You know, when we first pulled in and I saw the car, the thing didn't look like it would run. You know, never mind drive at all. But when I started to look in, you know, the trunk, the wheel well, the places that matter, it started to look more like a solid car. You know, I've been around old cars all my life, and there's a difference between really rusty cars and just surface rust. And that's all this car was, is just surface rust.
Gary, you got the light there again?
Yeah.
All the gauges and wiring look intact. It doesn't look like anything's missing. The doors look really solid. Even the seams are nice and clean. I think this car may have been put away running.
Tom, do you remember if the car ran well when you parked it?
Yes, it ran well. We backed it in there, parked it. That was it.
There's no antifreeze or water in it. Do you remember draining it?
Oh, no, I can't recall what we did. No.
Let me make a call. I just want to phone a buddy of mine
Sure,
who
go
knows
ahead.
these
Yeah.
engines really well.
That'd be a good idea.
Just let me make one call. Okay?
Sure.
Chris has been restoring cars with me for 25 years, and he knows what things cost.
Hello.
Chris, this Packard, the 37, it's a Victoria. It looks like a good car to do. I mean, it's all there. Problem is the guy hasn't run it in a bunch of years. There's no water in the thing.
No water.
I mean, I guess what Peter's worried about is if it was put away before winter with water in the rad, then we could...
Yeah, we weren't really too concerned with it. I just parked it there and just left it.
How much do you think it is if we have to rebuild the engine?
To do a proper rebuild on something like that, a V12, you're probably looking upwards of 30 grand.
And if holy cow.
Don't forget, Pete, that's assuming that we don't have to source out a 37 V12 Packard block or head.
Gary and I think this Packard is a really good car, but I'm really concerned about the engine. It may have been frozen up. So I called Chris to get a price if it needs a complete rebuild.
To do a proper rebuild on something like that, a V12, you're probably looking upwards of 30 grand.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Chris. See ya.
You know, buying cars is all about psychology. I know I'm not going to get this done at 90 or 95,000, so I'm going to hit them one time and one time only at 100,000. I think that's going to get it done, but I'm not going to budge 10 cents if he wants more than that.
Yeah.
Certainly had good lines.
Well, we'll see what he says.
How much you asking for it?
I'd want like $140,000.
How'd you come up with that number?
Well, I just take a look at what some of these cars are worth when they've been done over and fixed up, and I kind of thought, well, 50% for the original car should be about right.
Yeah.
When he tells me that a car is worth $300,000 or he's seen himself for $300,000, what he really doesn't understand is that restoration to get that $300,000 may have been $300,000. To do a true Pebble Beach quality car can be $300,000 or $400,000. So when he sees that price and he thinks, oh, it's 100 grand to get there, it's not. Trying to educate these guys on what it really takes to get those big numbers is tough sometimes.
I mean, here's my reasoning. I can't pay you that sort of money. One of the things that makes me really nervous is the engine. The fact that I'm buying it, it's not running, you know, there's no water in it.
I understand.
You know, I mean, if it froze up and the water drained out because of that, then we're into some big money. Just a standard rebuild of a 12-cylinder Packard motor is almost $30,000 now. So, you know, it's probably going to need that anyway. And if we're into parts, you know, if something's broken, it could be up to $50,000, and it's just a huge risk to take without, you know, without knowing if it's running.
I understand the problem. Yeah.
I like the car, and I think there's some, you know, potential in the car. It's got a great body, and it seems to be all there. But you know, I'd want to pay $100,000 for it. And I think that's
100.
100.
No, well, I'll have to back off a little bit, but I think we've got to do more than 100. I would, 125 strikes me as somewhere in between. Can you live with that?
You know what? If you get the car running for me, I could live with that if it runs good. But if you want me to take it the way it is, it's a crapshoot. It's going to be $30,000 to $40,000 to rebuild the motor, depending on what it needs.
So you're offering me $100,000 for that car,
Yeah.
as it is.
The way the car sits, $100,000. You know.
Well, I think probably I just want to get rid of the car, so why don't we seal it at that, and
Perfect.
we're done.
Great.
I was a little surprised that he cut the car loose so quickly, but I think he realized that to get the car running wasn't going to be as simple as just putting gas in it.
I did a little researching on the computer, and I saw that they could be worth as much as $350,000. So I thought, well, half is maybe fair for the guy that's going to start this process. So I thought maybe 140 was That's a good starting point, and I thought maybe it was worth that.
What are we gonna do? Are we gonna try and just sell it right away, or are we gonna put some serious hours into it and restore it?
I think it's one of those ones that if we can get it running, we can sell it. Ideally, I'd like to sell it as a project to somebody and then do the restoration. But if not, we might just sell it the way it is. I mean, it's so busy in the shop, and it's going to tie up a guy or two for like a year or two to do that thing.
Yeah, and 3 spots.
And 3 spots.
You know, my dad's a super optimistic guy, but when he had me try and unload the Packard by myself, I had to go get a bunch of guys from the shop.
The guy that's going to save my butt on this is Teddy. He's an old school mechanic. If it's got points and a carburetor, he's going to get it running.
I got to go to the track tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking that Zonda over there, but this is the Packard that we just bought yesterday.
I thought so, yeah.
And what I need is I'm nervous. No water in this thing, so I hope there's no cracked block or head or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. And it hasn't run in years, so you probably have to, you know, drain the fuel, oil, just go through everything.
Okay.
So if you can spend tomorrow getting it running, that'd be awesome.
No problem, Pete. We'll get it
Right?
going.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks.
You know, there's only 3 things you really need to get a car running. You need fuel, you need spark, and you need timing. And any car will run. Might not run well, but it will run.
Let's see what we can do with this one. Pete brings in this old Packard, we got to get it going. Now the first thing we'll do is see if it'll turn over. We'll fire a battery into it and see if it'll crank. Okay. Battery should be in here somewhere. Look at this. All kinds of garage finds. Well, that's where it's supposed to be. Let's jam something in there and see what we can do. I always like to make sure that they turn over without any knocking or banging. See if this even works. All right. All right, she turns. Let's just see if there's something in here. Look at that, full to the brim. A little bit dirty, but not too bad. Now we should see if there's any coolant in it. Ooh, that's pretty low. I don't see anything. Let's go grab something and see what happens. It's all wet down there, so we'll give it, oh yeah, she's just old and crusty. Let's see if that stopped it. We'll know more when we get it running. Well, it looks like we might have got lucky with the rat hose. I tightened that clamp and it seemed to stop leaking. This is a 12-cylinder car, and it's got 2 coils and 2 sets of points. One set of points works 6 cylinders, and one set works the other. So we'll check this coil here for spark. Go ahead, Andrew, crank it. Check this one over here and see if we got some spark out of this one. Go ahead, Andrew. Oh, I heard it. Do it again. Oh yeah, we got a good spark there too. When a car sits this long, the gas is usually pretty stale. So the first thing we do is drain out all the old fuel. So now we put 5 gallons of gas in the car. Then I take the glass fuel filter bowl off and turn the engine over and pump the old stale gasoline out of the fuel line to the filter. At the same time, I clean the bottom of the fuel filter because any of that dirt could get in the carburetor and cause even more headaches. Nice new set of spark plugs. All right, let's see what happens. When this Packard showed up, I knew he had to have it running soon. And I can't understand. I've got fuel, I've got gas, but it just won't fire. It's got me baffled. I don't know.
I just spent $100,000 on this 37 Packard that hasn't run in years. Teddy doesn't get this car running, I could lose a ton of money.
I don't know. It looks like we're still not getting any gas in the carburetor. It's coming up to the filter, but sometimes the needle and seat sticks from a long period of sitting. So we'll give it a little tap on the side of the carburetor and see if that works. See if that'll do her. Are we ready? Come on, old girl, let's go. And good oil pressure, too.
I'm
not sure how Teddy's really doing with the Packard. I've been at the track all day shaking down the Zonda R for a customer. Problem is, the whole time I couldn't stop thinking about the Packard. Would Teddy get this thing running?
Teddy,
Peter,
tell me you got it running.
she runs like a Swiss watch.
No way.
No, honestly. Just took it for a ride a minute ago.
Just fire
Turn
it
the
up.
key and away you go. Take her for a
drive
ride. Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Look at the door.
You know, the next morning as I was walking through the shop, I was half-assed thinking I was going to razz Teddy and see if he got the car running yet. I couldn't believe he actually got the car running. The car had been sitting there all those years. In one day, he got that car running and driving.
So I'm looking out the window and I see my dad drive around in the Packard. Teddy got the thing running in one day.
Well, how was she?
Eddie, you're a genius.
Well, they don't build them like that anymore, do they, Pete?
It runs beautiful. Did like all the gears work? Everything
Yeah,
works?
yeah. I didn't even have to open the carburetor up. Wow. Yeah, yeah. She runs really good. And she'll run better with time.
Unbelievable. Been sitting all those years.
Okay, find me another one.
Okay. Thanks, Teddy.
Take care.
I've been trying to sell an old client of mine the Packard for a few months now. So when he said he was going to drop by, I got really excited.
Hey, Peter, how's it going?
Good, Wayne. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Things are good?
Yeah, things are great.
Want to have a look at this Packard?
I want to have a look. There we go.
Wayne's been a customer of mine for over 20 years. I like to say he's in the slinging business. He likes to call it the irrigation and fertilizer business. He builds these giant fertilizer sprayers and irrigation equipment, and he's used to dealing with these farmers, so I know I'm in for a tough ride with this guy. He knows how to negotiate.
How's that old Mustang restored for you?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. Yeah, it's sitting home in the barn.
Did you ever show that?
Yes, sure did. Showed it all over the States and picked up a few gold awards with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a rare car, huh?
Maybe you sell me that old Mustang?
You think so?
Yeah.
At my price.
Well, these V12s are huge, aren't they? See some filters on it that are new. Have you had it running?
When we bought it, Wayne, the car didn't run. We like literally pulled it out of the barn,
Right.
and Teddy spent a day on it. He got the thing fired up. I know how Wayne is. He's going to try and get the best deal he can, and he's going to chop me off at the knees.
I don't know, Pete. It's not worth near what you're talking about. You know, this thing's basically worth about 80,000 bucks.
80 grand.
80 grand. I mean, the reality of this thing is that what it costs to restore it. To do it properly, you're talking about $150,000. You're talking about 45,000 to redo a V12, 25 grand on the interior and top, 25,000 worth of chrome, you know, your body and paint, you know, good 30,000.
I agree with all that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, some cars you would then have to buy for negative value or pay the guy to take it away, because the cost of the restoration on a lot of cars far outweighs what the value of the car is at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean just because the car needs doing that it's worth nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can't find a Victoria Packard 12-cylinder for under 100 grand anywhere. I mean, they don't exist, especially get one that, yeah, I mean, it needs everything, but it's all there. It's not a rusty old pig. It runs and drives, you know, and it's relatively complete other than maybe an odd trim item missing. So, I mean, you know, $1.25, trying to be reasonable. You don't think
You
that's
call
reasonable?
that reasonable? No, not really. Not really. No, $1.25, it's just out.
Wayne's serious about the Packard, but so far he's offered me a $20,000 loss.
You know, $1.25, trying to be reasonable.
No,
$1.25, it's just out. Maybe I could go 100.
I always appreciate.
grind
I
me.
always
Grind me.
appreciate a good offer, but at $100 grand,
That's a great offer.
well, in your mind,
This is a form of art. A lot of people spend, you know, thousands to millions on art that they hang on the wall.
yeah.
This here's rolling art, and but it's what I do. You're stuck at what, 125,
120. I'll go.
Well, I think I could probably make it work at 110.
I mean, if you want to do something where, you know, we split the difference, go 115.
All right, I'll split with you.
115.
Okay, let's do it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Good deal.
You know, Wayne's a real tough grind, but the nice thing is we've done business for 20 years, so it's going to a good home, and I think at the end of the day, he'll have a great car. He'll pick away at it for 10 years building that car, but he'll have exactly what he wants.
You know, going along with my dad on this trip and picking up the Packard was such a great experience, you know. Never really gone out to a barn and found an old car, bought it, made sure it ran, and then sold it again. You know, it was a great experience. And you really learn that barn find cars aren't the restored value minus the restoration. They're worth more than that.
Part of the reason I bought this car was to educate Gary on what a good car looks like in its raw state. This car had great bones, but it was going to take a lot of money, and it wasn't something that I wanted to put through the shop. Now, finding the buyer for one of these cars is a trick too. We had the car for almost 6 months. Now, I know Wayne was been looking for one of these, and he saw the price for a long time, and he just kept picking.
Electric eyes, they pull me in. A spark ignites beneath my skin. Your shadow dances close to mine. This game of fire feels divine. The heat is rising, can't escape. Your whispers wrap me like a cape. A million volts through every vein. You drive me wild, I can't refrain. Dangerous chemistry, we're playing with fire. Hearts beating faster, feeding desire. Magnetic forces pulling us tight. Dancing on the edge all through the night. Your touch is bold, it leaves a trace.